Most entrepreneurs have a one sentence mission statement, but those are all crap.
The vivid vision piece was incredible about how you constructed that. So will you just give us just the
Sure.
Reader's Digest version of that?
Yeah, so the vivid vision is a 4 or 5 page description of what your company looks like, acts like, and feels like 3 years in the future. So it's this 4 or 5 page document that is written by the entrepreneur. You can get an editor or run it through ChatGPT or whatever to polish it and make it look great. Get a designer to add some design elements to it so it feels like your brand. But it becomes this 4 or 5 page description of what your company looks like and feels like in the future. So there's a paragraph about how your leadership team is working together. Maybe there's a paragraph about what your customers are writing online. Maybe a paragraph about what the media is writing about you in the future. Maybe a paragraph about your company culture and how people live the core values. Maybe a paragraph about operations, and one about IT, and one about finance, and one about marketing, and one about PR. And you describe it all as if it's come true, almost like a homeowner might describe what their house is going to look like or what a kitchen renovation will look like when it's completed. The homeowner doesn't know how to do the electrical or how to do the plumbing or how to hang the cabinets, but they can describe the finished state. So when you're writing a vivid vision, you're describing the finished state, and then you let your team figure out how to make every sentence come true.
Which is incredible. And then it wasn't just the business piece either, correct? So there was also a component of it that you even challenged me on personally, which was, what does my life look like?
Yeah, you can have a vivid vision for your company, which actually I sat, strangely enough, in Kansas City in Marcelo's home with he and Jordan after dinner one night, and we started working on the vivid vision for Sprint. We literally did some audio recordings. I probably still got them to this day, but we did some audio recordings sitting in his home, and that was where we started to kind of craft what Sprint's vision of the future was going to look like. If you were writing one for your personal life, the personal vivid vision might include things like, what do you do for fun? What do you do for fitness? What are you doing for travel? What are you doing for faith or spirituality? How are you showing up as a dad or as a friend? What are your hobbies? What activities are you into? How are you growing sexually? Are you using any psychedelics or therapy work for growth? And it's literally describing every single aspect of you as a person. All you do with these vivid vision documents is you start to share them with the world. And the more people you share them with, the more they're going to try to help you make 1 or 2 sentences come true. Right? So if you share a 5 page document with your leadership team, they might get excited about 2 paragraphs and a couple of other sentences. That's all they need to be really engaged in their work for the next 3 years, right? Is knowing that their work is making parts of your vivid vision come true. Imagine how much of a disaster it would be if you hired the best contractor in Kansas City and you said to them, here's $2 million. Go build my dream home. I'll see you in 12 months. You would come home and it wouldn't look anything like what you were imagining, but they can't read your mind. So you delegated the entire business of building a home without really getting clear. And most entrepreneurs have a one sentence mission statement, but those are all crap. That's when we got a bunch of employees together. We put a bunch of words up on the whiteboard. We voted on our favorite words. We took the 7 words that were left and we wrote them up in a sentence. Go team. You can have a BHAG, you need core values, but that vivid vision is what really aligns everyone.
Makes sense because it tells a story, right?
Tells a story, and it can also be very polarizing. So I'll give you an example. When Steve Jobs launched, the iPhone, when was that? 2007. So 19 years ago. What was missing on the iPhone? When he launched it, what was missing? It didn't have a keyboard. And he knew that he had a vision for this insanely great product that would challenge the status quo, that would be so simple that anyone could figure out how to use it, that you'd have fully optimized, clean design. And he knew that a bunch of people would think he was crazy. That's okay. He wasn't selling it to them. Buy BlackBerry as long as you want. Soon enough, we know you're going to come join the dark side, right? And what he did was he got the people who loved it to obsess about it, and he didn't care about being there for everyone.